Three, two, one. What's up, George? What's going on in the House of Craze tonight?
In the House of Craze tonight, we're going to be talking to ourselves. It is just you and I tonight. We're going to be
You
talking.
and I must make a pact. We must bring salvation back.
Just run the opening, bro. Run the opening.
So what are we doing, George?
Just run the opening. We'll tell them afterwards.
Let's get it.
We are the only show for independents all around, giving you a platform to spread your word all over town. Catch the Craze is the place to promote to your fans with the Dreamer, Medina, and Sam the Crazy Man. Subscribe to our show and never miss an episode. It's time to get your mans, listen to us on the go. Updated every week, we never miss a day. Join the squad, come on in. It's time to catch the Craze. If you are an independent, catch the Craze. Making moves on your own, catch the Craze. On your grind in the streets, catch the Craze. Join the movement, catch the Craze.
Yeah, George, we did it again. Come on now. You know you want to do it. Catch the Craze. Welcome to Catch the Craze podcast. I'm your host with the most, Seb, the crazy man, Sarah, and I am what?
George, the Dreamer, Medina. What's happening, everyone? Welcome to another exciting episode of Catch the Craze. It is at least what's up. It is Tuesday, August 13th. Lou Pons is in the house, and we are coming to you live tonight. We don't have a guest tonight. Good evening, friends. We are just gonna. It's just gonna be Sam and I. That's it. We're gonna be talking about conventions because we just both did conventions. Not so you did one last week. I did one this week, and we're gonna be talking about that tonight. But if you haven't done so yet, subscribe to the channel. Give us a like, comment. If you're in the chat, guys, hit the like button real quick. Get those numbers up. We're close to 2,000, Sam. Close to 2,000 subscribers. So let's try to get that.
Just the two of us.
We
can make it if we try. Just the two.
Why
Why do you always you get that pause, bro?
I let you do your thing. I'm not gonna step on your singing, bro. No, the world needs music, dude.
What? That's right.
That's right. But yeah, what's going on, Sam? Talk to me. How was your weekend? How have you been, my friend?
Come and talk to me.
There he is.
I really wanna meet you. What's going on? It's I'm getting ready for the fall. It's August, bro. Do you know I am officially now 3 years in Texas?
Oh, you moved in August?
Yeah.
Oh shoot. Damn.
3 years in Texas, bro. It's crazy. Wow. It was right after EternalCon in Long Island.
Yeah.
It was right after that. That was in July, I think, June, July, and then in August I moved out here. So, yeah, 3 years is crazy time.
So you moved out right a year after the pandemic. You moved out.
Yeah. It was the lockdown, Pelican Bay. Yeah, boy. But yeah. So just been grinding, trying to make time to draw and get caught up on things, and then getting ready for the fall to end the year in September, October. I have 3 conventions left for the year. What's up, KC the Sledge? Still waiting for Kablam to get my latest issue. Yep, there you go. College Station. It'll be my second appearance at College Station Comic-Con. And then Cowtown Comic-Con and Denton Comic Art Expo. Those are my last. What's up, Laurie Calcaterra in his house?
Laurie, we talking cons. Yes, Laurie, we are talking conventions.
I'm already doing Halloween art. So am I. There you go. Yeah, we're just talking about this. Yeah, I'm getting I got a new line of stickers, horror stickers, just for the cons. It's gonna be Duty as Jason, Duty as Leatherface, Duty as a few other things. It's gonna be exciting. So it's gonna be dope. Yeah, so I'm just getting ready for the shows, promoting this, editing the vlog from the San Antonio convention. That's gonna be coming out soon. What's up?
Yeah.
And then Zed.
Yeah, it could be a lot of that. A lot of that, Ed. It could be a lot of that.
Yeah. So that's what I'm doing, and I know you just got back from a show.
Yeah, dude. I was at Wicked Comic Con in Boston, Massachusetts last weekend, where I saw a lot of our friends from back in the day. Keith Murphy was there, KJ Murphy.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, Hector Rodriguez, John Escobalis.
The former CAG squad.
Yeah, man. Yeah. The former CAG squad. That's
Comic
right.
Artist Guild.
I saw Keith Gleason, Johnny C. Jonathan Syfax, my boy. He was rolling with me, so we had a good. Oh man, we stayed. I got to tell you about.
I know, like the romantic place.
Oh,
yeah, that hotel was something special. You had moonlights.
It was a no-tell, bro. It was a no-tell.
It was a closet.
We don't tell
purple.
Dude, I went like this. And I was touching
purple walls.
Yo, it was crazy. It was a bunk bed.
It was interesting.
Yeah, no, to say the least. But yeah, no, the show. Okay, so we're gonna talk about this in the during the Get Your Meds segment.
Yeah.
But listen, Wicked Comic Con, good show. The guys who run it actually used to run Boston Comic Con before they sold it to the Fan Expo. I think that's how the story goes. Yeah. And they started doing their own show. And the first year they did it, it was a 1-day show. They was great. Then they moved the location, made it a 2-day show, and that was good. And I think this is their year. By the Lou, it was one of those.
It's one of those that you put a quarter in the thing, and it has a timer.
It was not a good place. But that's what George went quiet. Yeah.
Who had the top?
I was in the top bunk, bro.
Wow.
You know why? All right. So the bunk bed was on top of the other bed. So I'm like, yo, anything happens, that bunk bed is now falling on me. I was like, sorry, Johnny, I'm taking the top, dog. So it was a wrap. It was a wrap for that. Yo, what's going on, Brandon? How you doing?
Yeah, I saw that picture. I was like, whoa, it's a romantical night.
dude. So check this out. So not only that, there was no bathroom door. No. It was a curtain, dog. It was a curtain. It was a curtain. Yeah, it was a curtain. So
what if you're tooting?
John went downstairs. He went to the lobby. He's like, yo, dog, I'll be back. Yeah, brother. I was like, all right, when you go down there, I'm gonna go handle my business.
Was it big enough to have a bathroom?
Yeah. So you walk in, you walked in, and as soon as you walked in, there was like a little night table, maybe. Then there was that bed, right? Beads. There was the bed. Then on top of the bed was the the bunk bed. The TV was up against the wall about a foot away from the bed. Right. So you just had like that little foot, and then you move on past that, and that's where the bathroom was. And there was a stand-up shower, and then there was a toilet and a sink. Bro, it was crazy, dude. It was crazy. Europeans are complaining enough over the gaps in the stalls as it is. Oh, I've heard about that. Yeah, I've heard about the gaps in the stalls and how there is none in Europe. That's hilarious. But yeah, brother. What are you looking for, bro? Here we go. Here we go. When you go quiet, when you say you're looking for something,
I'm getting suspicious. Suspicious.
Oh man. So yeah, dude, it was one of those. It was one of those. But back to the con. You know what? Why don't we just talk about the topic and we move from there? Now, let me ask you a question. We do have a sponsor of the show tonight.
We do have a sponsor.
Let's give him a little shine.
Hold on.
Here is the sponsor.
Okay, hold on.
Oh, I'm speeding you up. My bad.
Yeah, hold on. I just, you enticed the audience. They're captivated, and I just need them to see this room.
Oh, there's the room. Check it out. I knew that's what you. That's the room.
There's the room. This was something romantical. You got this.
It was a romantic getaway.
You got strobe lights. You got candles.
Yo, Jonathan went to the bathroom in the middle of the night, like 2 a.m, and he turned on the lights in the bathroom. Remember, it's a curtain. The whole room lit up, bro. I was like, what the fuck, yo? It was insane, dude. So I guess that you should let us ask the questions. Hey, go for it, brother. Ask questions. I like bed hanging from the ceiling.
Yes. It's fantastical evening. But yeah. So
that's
I
why
think
I slept on that. That's why.
Let's get that topic. Oh wait, hey, we definitely got a sponsor of the show tonight. So here is I gotta find that video.
Yeah, big shout out to Wayward Raven.
Here we go. Here's a word from our sponsor.
Greed-crazed Emperor Napoleon is expanding his empire into the stars. He will loot whatever art and culture he discovers and haul it away to his new Musée Galactique de Napoleon in Paris. He's charging towards his next target, planet Thror, but a young revolutionary has stowed away aboard his starship, planning to assassinate him before he can plunder and colonize another planet. As an archaeologist, I am painfully aware of the terrible toll that centuries of looting have taken on ancient monuments. I wanted to channel my feelings of outrage and deep sorrow through my main character and fellow artist, Gavroche, who encounters the beauty of a lost civilization only to see it being destroyed and plundered by ruthless invading soldiers. Her lonely heart, hardened by war crimes, opens up to love and beauty, the last hope for a perishing world. I am deeply grateful to all potential backers of this project for supporting the message of Napoleon's Starship, which is also my manifesto as a creator. We cannot build our future without preserving and protecting our past. This dark but romantic story is told in 64 fully colored pages and will be published by the incredible team at Wayward Raven Media. Your support will help me to fulfill one of the dreams of my life, to start publishing my graphic novels and acquire a unique opportunity to merge my voices as a writer, artist, archaeologist, and animator to speak louder and be heard. Thank you so much for checking out our campaign.
Yes, so big shout out to Wayward Raven Media. They were at the show. That wasn't a bunk, it was an indoor balcony bed. Yes. Yeah, they were at Wicked Comic Con. Those guys are hilarious. If you don't follow them on Instagram. Wayward Raven, WAYWARD Raven, RAVEN. Yeah, funny guys, man. Funny guys. Alex and Mark. Big shout out to you guys. They're doing big things. So yeah, that Kickstarter's live right now. Check it out. Hook them up. Anyway, Sam.
Yes.
Topic. Did we do that yet? No,
we did. It's time to get our meds, bro.
Let's do it.
It's time for your medicine.
Ways not to lose your shirt at cons. Oye, where's my camisa, bro?
Hey, man, I'm naked.
Yo.
Real quick side, because we just going tandems. Yo, Chichi died, bro.
Chichi
get the yayo.
Chichi get the yayo.
Yeah, the actor who played Chichi in Scarface.
What he died of,
bro? I think he was just age, maybe. I don't know. I mean, he wasn't that old, but I don't know.
You know who passed away last month was I forgot the actor's name. He was the young boy in Alf.
Really? No kidding.
Yeah.
Damn. Wow. Catherine is a badass. Yo, archaeologist? Yo, she's a badass.
Yo, indie. Dun, 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 dun. I'm thinking the
18. yeah, what happened there?
He was in Carlito's Way. Yes, he was.
He was in Carlito. Yeah, he was in Carlito's Way, man.
Oye, Carlito.
Oye, Carlito. Yo, what's his
Benjamin
name in
Gregory.
that movie was so good. Benjamin Gregory. Yeah. Oh wow, that was the kid, Benjamin Gregory.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm working on a piece because Alf his thing was the cats, and Duty has Herman the Chihuahua. So I'm working on a piece with Alf, Duty, and then like an homage to him. So I'm working on something special for me.
A little crossover, bro. Hit him up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, I was gonna say John Leguizamo playing Benny Blanco from the Bronx in Carlito's Way.
Yo, John
He was
Leguizamo
he was
is
good. He was good in
probably the best supporting actor in every film. Tu Wong Fu. Tu Wong Fu. I mean, what's his name? John Wick.
The clown in Spawn, John Wick.
The clown in Spawn. He made Spawn. He was Spawn. You know, John Wick. His character in John Wick. He's like, oh, he's like,
low key.
I mean,
he's low key good to know
just,
that.
Yes, he's just so. He's just that great. Like he's not the lead guy, but he's a great supporting guy.
Yes, he's quite made Spawn good. 100% agree with saying John is incredible.
Yes, he was Spawn.
Nice.
Spawny. He's out, man. He can't do it.
Anyway, okay, I'm sorry. Back to the topic. So ways not to lose your shirt at cons. So this topic that we're going to talk about, originally I was going to say how to be successful at con, but success, people measure success a little different, right?
I don't know. This one guy I was watching, he was at Anime Expo. He did $34,000.
Exactly.
I was like,
that's success.
That's success.
That's success. We're not going to talk about that because we haven't done that.
I don't want to talk about that guy.
Let's keep it real.
Let's take him to the loading dock. Taking notes.
To Hugo's point, he's also a very funny comedian. Like his one-man show where we're freaking.
I saw two of them. I saw, was it something aholic?
Yeah.
And I saw Mambo Mouth. Was it Mambo Mouth? Mambo Mouth and something aholic.
Yeah, Sexaholic. It was
Sexaholic. Yes, I saw two of them both live on Broadway.
Yeah. He was good. He was good, man. Anyway, so we're not going to talk about how to make $34,000 at a con because we're going to
talk about making $5.
We're talking about not losing your shirt. We're talking about making your table at least and your hotel, okay, and coming out of there with hopes and dreams and aspirations of doing another one because you felt like you did so well and you're excited and people bought your book and they told you how good it was and all that fun stuff. So that's what we're going to talk about tonight is how not to lose your shirt. Because listen, there are people who walk out of there and they don't sell anything.
Nothing, man.
Yo, they pay for, big tables and this and that and come out.
And they go home and there's no chow. You don't bring home the money. You don't get the honey. They're like, oh, hell no, get out of here.
No money. George and Sam we have all the secrets. Sure we do. So we're going to talk about it, Sam. We're going to talk about it. So you want to start?
You start.
Okay.
So you want to be starting something? You got to be starting something. Go ahead.
Samuel Vera tonight. If anybody's keeping count, how many songs has he done tonight? I'm not even sure yet. Let's just start keeping count. I'm thinking about 7 or 8 already. It's only 17 minutes into the show.
You can't count on me like 1, 2, 3. I'll be there.
Yo, this kid he's current, he's old school. I like it, Sam. You're expanding your repertoire. Wise. Lori's here. Lori's here to troll. I love her. I love her. He can't help it. He has music Tourette's. That's what he has. What you have. This is what you do. You anyway.
Good.
All right. I don't even know where we are anymore.
You're saying you don't lose your shirt.
Yes. Yeah. So I think the first thing.
I'm frozen.
Oh, shoot. This kid is cheesing too. Is there a monetary number that you're thinking in your head during the con, a number that you need to get break even?
There's always a number.
Yes.
It always starts there. You always have to have a number in mind. As a business person.
Well, you have to put that business hat on, right?
Yes, that's where you put the other hat on, right? So, Tootie, I'm gonna take you off for a second. I'm gonna put in the other hat. Right? As a business person, you have to have your operating expenses because you have to be able to break even, right? So, what are your operating expenses? That's everything. That's hotel, travel, food. That's printing of the material. That's your displays. All those things, right? And so your gas and tolls, all that stuff you have to itemize. So if you don't have a spreadsheet where you itemize, it's when you do your taxes, because most of the time, unfortunately, in independent comic books, anything independent, you're going to take a loss in the beginning, right? And so you want to be able to account for that because it's, and make sure that you get you don't get penalized for the loss, right? So you get a threshold of 5 years. Right. If it gets complicated if you could become an LLC. But anyway, you want to itemize everything, and then that number, if your operating cost, let's say it's $2,000, right? that's the bare minimum you need to make, because remember, you're not making a salary, right? So you got to think of yourself as an employee of the organization. So what does it cost for you to recoup the hours that you put in to make all this happen? That's another side conversation. But at least break even is the minimum number that you want to achieve when you're at an event.
Yeah. So yeah, definitely the right amount of merch factors into making that
Yes.
money, right? So yeah,
Yes.
so there's that. But and then you also have to contend with, whenever you do a show at a different states have different codes.
Yep.
So you have to make sure that, I think Connecticut charges you $100 for 6 years to do business in that state for tax reasons, right? So you
Yes.
have to be ready to pay that $100 in that particular state. Every state is different. So you got to find
Not only
out
that,
what the
every
rules
city
are
within
for
the state is different. Every city within the state
That's
is
also
different.
too. That
Because
could be
there are
too, yeah.
conventions in Texas that require you to have
I mean, Texas is huge, bro.
yes. So there's different conventions in Texas where require you to have a seller's permit.
Yeah.
So, and there's some conventions that don't require it at all. And you have to, so I pay every 3 months sales tax. I have to report my sales tax every 3 months. So that's why I have Square, right? Because it itemizes and it charges a tax on everything. And then I track all of my cash sales and I itemize everything and I deduct the tax based on where I am, whatever that percentage is, and I put it away. So at that quarterly time when I have to report my taxes, I pay that. It's already done. I don't have to worry about it. So it usually comes out to not much. It's like anywhere between $90 to a couple $100. All depends on how much I've sold within that quarter.
Sam must make money. Yeah, he talks like he does, right? That guy's good. He's good. No. But like, I as far as the taxes go, I mean, obviously consult your accountant. You know what I mean? It's not tax advice. We're not giving you tax advice, but definitely you got to keep track of all that stuff, because you know, you may get audited and then you're gonna have all that, right? What was the earliest in a con that you reached your break-even number? Like, if you reached it on the first day, I would think you're so happy now that the second day is all gravy. Yeah, no, it's never on the first day.
It depends.
Very, very, like, so Ed, so if you're going to your convention, you're gonna do your first convention ever, right? For me, don't ever think you're gonna make all your money back on the first day, because you are in for a rude awakening when it doesn't happen, because there are things that you must do at the convention in order for you to even, you know, get that number. And that's what I want to talk about a little bit, is what are some of the things that you need to do, because it's not enough just to have a table at a con and some books on the table. That's not enough, right? Because guess what? There are about, I don't know, 100 other vendors at the same convention with the same thing, a table and some books. All the tables look the same. Yeah, I mean, all the tables are laid out the same. You get 6 or 8 foot tables and they're lined up. You know what I mean? So you have to stand out. I made about a quarter of my expense back last month. All right. Well, there you go. So what you want to do is you want to try to stand out. And the way to stand out is, again, what Sam was talking about, you know, your props. Sam has a lot of props. Sam goes out there and he puts money into the display. Now, and you gotta, you know, tinker with it. You gotta play around with that. You can't just, it's that particular display was this month's display. Right? Right? How many displays have you gone through? Right?
I've gone through a lot of iterations.
Exactly.
If you follow my vlog, you'll know that you've seen it evolve.
So you never know which one's going to hit. You constantly have to, but you also have to be ready for everything.
Everything.
If it's a 6 foot table, if it's an 8 foot table, if hey, somebody left and now you get to expand. We were at the show and somebody did move or somebody didn't show up. So I was able to expand to 8 feet because I split the table with the guys next to us, which were really great, man. Big shout out to Andrew and Jonathan Fleming. They were amazing. They were really, really dope. So I was able to expand. So I had to be ready for the expansion because you never know when it's going to happen. J.M. DeSantis, people were leaving the convention. He spread out to like 3 tables, bro. He had 3 tables and he had enough for 3 tables. It was insane. So I think that you have to be ready. Be ready to do all of that. In that same con, all the assigned tables were given white tablecloths. I brought a blue one. Stand out, right?
What's up, Michael Sammartino in the house?
It's Michael Sammartino.
But I mean,
he's going to be at Terrificon next week.
Yes, and if you look at this right here, like this setup right here, it was a 6 foot table but I bought a 2-foot table because I was supposed to have an 8-foot table and I had a 6-foot table. I bought a 2-foot table and I extended it to 8 feet and I
You on the
attached it.
corner.
Yes,
right?
you won't even see it. You won't
Yeah.
even see it because it's right here. I mean, I don't know if you can see my mouse, but anyway, it's on the, but I bought a 2-foot table with me in the event that I needed extra space. And I'm glad I did because I wouldn't have been able to support all that with just a 6-foot table.
Yeah.
So I always come prepared with extra stuff in the car. So when you have a look at how I travel deep, right? But I have extra stuff in the event that I need it based on what's happening.
Yeah. You gotta, like I said, you gotta stand out. For me, I prefer like the white and the black because my stuff is very colorful and I want your eye to rest. Yes. So sometimes, I'm more of a minimalist. I don't have, like Sam has a very intricate display. I don't. My display is very simple. And obviously, as I get more stuff on the table, I'll have more things to display. But if you guys follow me on Instagram, you'll be able to see some of the stuff that I have up there as far as the display goes. But you definitely want to have the product that you're selling be the feature, right? You want to make sure that thing pops. Again, it's about getting people to your table because no matter what happens at these shows, sometimes shows aren't full. Like talk about that show, Sam. It wasn't exactly packed, right? They had split the con in two, so you had to figure out a way to get people to come to the table.
Yeah, that event itself. Number one, that event had 50,000.
Banners are good too, man. Banners are important.
So that event had 50,000 attendees. It was a popping event. The problem was they added this building, which was this building to stand out more. Sam, I know, right? Strangers, right? So this convention center, they added Hall E, which was an addition this year, and most people didn't even know about Hall E. So where all the party was, the bulk, I would say 80% of the attendees was in Hall A through ABC, right? But in Hall E, you had to leave the convention center, walk around the property, the perimeter of it, past the food truck area to get to our building. So we had traffic, and it was one of the best events I've had all year. I know that it would have been even better if I was in the building with everybody else, because there was only about 50 of us in this. It was just 50 artists in a row, and everybody else was in the arena. So that made a big difference on, being able to capitalize on the crowd.
See, but I think that, okay, so to play devil's advocate to that point, right? You say you would have probably done better in the bigger arena. And I say to you, maybe not. Maybe the fact that you were amongst only 50 vendors versus 100 vendors was the difference at making the money at that show. Because now you had to stand out less. And because you're orange pop, you were standing out amongst 50 rather than 150. You see what I'm saying? So
the world will never know.
But we'll never know. We'll never know.
We'll never know.
We'll
never know. But I am schmoozing up to the convention promoters trying to get into the big hole next year. So we'll see.
Right, we'll see. Yeah. Well, I guess we'll find out. Yeah. Lori says location. So yes, it matters. Location does play a part. But I'll say this. So at the convention that I was at this weekend, it was at a hotel. Okay. And one of the hotel was split, the convention was split in two. So picture a U, right? And one part of the convention was on one leg of the U, and the other convention was on the other side of the U. And in the middle was the lobby of the hotel. It was the check-in section. It was all that stuff. So if people came in from one side of the street, they would go downstairs, and that would be their convention. If they came on the other side, they would go down the other side, and that was their convention. Many times people would come into our table saying, I didn't know you guys were here.
Yeah, same thing.
You know what I mean? Same thing, right? They would go to the other side and they would say the same thing over there, because a lot of those guys would come over to our side and be like, yo, it's dead over there. So it was so spread out that neither side was having a good convention. You see what I'm saying? So sometimes that could hurt. But here's the thing, and we talk about location. Yes, location is important, because if you're somewhere where you're getting no traffic, how the heck are you going to get anybody over there, right? And I get that. I totally understand that. If we're talking about location, as far as like corner booth versus inline booth, yeah, that's also good too. I think you had a corner booth, right, Sam?
My booth where I was right at the end. So when you walk in right towards me. Mm-hmm. And there's a staircase, if you notice, to the left of me, right here. So if you see this, you see the below, you see that arena below me, the kids zone.
Yeah.
You see those. So that's the direct path. So the entrance goes right down those stairs. So you
Right. So
walk
that was
in,
technically a
TV
corner.
first, and you see that staircase that goes
Yeah.
downstairs to the kids zone. So I had a prime
I gotta
location.
send you the picture of mine.
So I had a prime location. I was very excited about that location. The problem is that if 20% of the population that attended the event showed up in our hall, I would say of that 70% were cosplayers. That they weren't actually buying anything. They were just there in costume and they were looking to take pictures and all that stuff, whatever. Right. And of that, then maybe another 15% were families bringing their kids to that kids zone, and they were playing because they had rock climbing and they had slides and all that stuff. They were all down there. And then so that remaining 10%, whatever, is what I was trying to capitalize, right? On what worked for me were my bounce backs.
Yeah.
Right. So they got the trading card. They came in on the first day and it brought people back. Right. Yeah, I got the trading card from you yesterday. I wanted to come back. Right.
But hold on, because that's a good one. I wanted to add that to one of the things that you should do, right? But I sent you a picture, Sam, on your phone. I don't know if you can load it up. I benefited from my table being lined up perfectly with the entrance. So location, what's the best and what's the worst? It depends. It depends. Like KC, that's awesome that it lined up with the entrance. I've had situations where I was also at the entrance, and some people, because it was the entrance, it was the first table they saw, their thing was, I'll be right back. We just came in. And that's what Sam was talking about, the bounce backs. So that's awesome that you benefited. Did you do anything to get them to stop at your table and purchase? Or did you also get the whole, we just got here, I'll be right back? And I'll leave that for KC, see if he answers that.
Your picture's coming in distorted. Hold on.
Yeah, no problem. But yeah, no. Look, as far as like the best and the worst, man, it all depends. I think again, it's about being able to deal with whatever location they give you, right? Having solutions for any problem. I benefited. Oh, that was the same one. So yes, location is tough, man. And Lori, you say location, and I get it. Listen, if you're like at the end where nobody's coming, yeah, it's gonna be a long convention. It's gonna be one of those where like people were leaving this convention, like it was a 2-day convention. By Saturday afternoon, they were gone. All right, so this was mine. Now, my location, there was a problem with my location. If you look, you see that little spotlight in the back?
Like a window?
Well, that's because I'm creating that window because I have a light behind my books, because the location where I was at was dark as fuck. It was very dark. There was I had to have a light to light that area up. Now I did put I have a puppet. I have a Wonder Duck puppet, and I put it right behind the Wonder Duck on the left side. So that attracted people to come, and kids were coming up, and kids are cute, man. Kids would look at that thing and be like, they were trying to play with it, and I tell them like, oh no, it's sleeping, and they were like, wake it up, like they wanted to play with it, like, well, make sure it wakes up. So, but to your point about bounce backs, Sam, and that's what I want to talk about, because when your location is either at an entrance or it's dark or whatever it is, it's important to have something to hand to them so that they come back to your table. Something to leave in their hands that makes your table memorable to them, because this guy gave me something that was free. So I know that sounds like, oh, but I was just wasting money. No. These things cost about 17 cents to maybe print 500, print out 1,000. It doesn't matter. But give something to them so that they come back.
So several benefits to that, right? Because especially when you're buying entrance, I didn't dare do more than smile, say anything I can relate to and what they were. Yes,
that's good.
So when people were coming in, they were just first seeing this hall. So what I just got here, I'm taking it all in, blah, blah, blah. I said, well, here, I said, scan the QR code, check out my website. If you like what you see, come back and see me. That's boom. That was my pitch, right? Scan the QR code, check out the website. You like it, come over, right? I had a woman come by. She goes, oh my gosh, I love these stickers. I want to get all these stickers, right? And she's like, oh, how did I find you? I said, toma, bang, give it a card, right? She knows. I said, look, I'm in this building, hall E, right by the entrance. So now she went back home. She remembered, she pulled out that card. She came back the next day. She goes, it was because of the card I remembered about the stickers, right? And she came back. So I would say I got maybe, if I give out 100 stickers a day, it converts to about 15 to 20 customers.
Right.
Right. So that small expense
Yeah.
converted 15 to 20. Right.
Absolutely.
So the goal, and then that's just at the event. Then the customers that go to your website when they get home, when they unpack and they go through all this stuff, they go,
Yeah.
oh, let me check this out.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
They can either go and subscribe to the channel, go and follow you on social media, and it's long-term gain.
But the important thing about that is that they're not getting something that they can throw away. They're getting something to keep. A trading card you keep. You don't throw that away. That's the other thing. Don't give them something that they can just throw away. Don't give them a random card that they're just going to throw away. Give them something they feel like, there's some value in this.
Yes.
There's value in it. Right?
Yes. And then I have a shtick. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, no. I hand out 5x7 cards. My 5x7 cards have the first 3 pages of my comics printed in the front and the back. So you're getting a preview, and then I have a QR code on that card that gives you a free preview of issue number 1 of Russ, and the other one gives you the QR code to buy Wonder Duck if you want it. So, but there's something on that card that they don't want to get rid of. Because if you give them something to get rid of, they're just going to throw it out. The minute they walk past your table, it's forgettable. Thrown out. You know what I mean? No, but go ahead, Sandy. What did you
I ran into a fan at this last convention, Bell County. He came over, and I guess he was from Houston, right? And he says, I came here because you announced that you have the new card in your series. Right? Now, mind you, I give out free cards 2 a year. I do one in the spring season, one in the fall season of Duty as a Samurai, and it's a Samurai collection, and it's a series. I'm up to the 3rd card, right? So I started it last year, and I continued this year. I got the 4th card coming out this fall, right? And so he's like, I came here because I want to get this because I got the graphic novel. He goes, what else don't I have? I said, well, you don't have half the stickers and these prints, and you don't even have Duty's monsters. So he's like, all right, let me get this, right? But he goes, but I want the card. Am I going to get the card? I said, yes, you get the card for free. Here, boom. He goes, when's the next one? He goes, I want the whole collection. Whatever you're doing, I want it. He goes, and when are you going to be? Where are you going to be? I said, these are the 3 events I'm going to be in the fall. He goes, I'll be at one of them because I want that card, right? So you're going to have those. I make it fun. I make it part of a series, right? Because that's leading to, in a year from now, I'll have a Duty Samurai story that's coming out. So this is the prelude, right? It's building that momentum, right? So it ties in. It's not just a bounce back on the back. It has the QR code to the website and to the art channel. It also is part of a series, and it makes it fun. So now when that comic comes out, now I have buyers because they have the entire series of cards that they're going to want to buy that book, right? So you got to figure out what works for you. You got to find like a person who's really good at tying in merchandising and making it fun and making it engaging for the customer is one of our listeners right now, Lori Calcaterra. She really incorporates a whole lot of fundamentals that brings in the audience. You got to find your shtick. You got to find your lane that gets them. And the reason why my table evolves, and if you watch the vlog when I first started the art channel, what the table looked like then to now, it's evolved based on the reception I get and the feedback I get from the audience. What's driving them to my table? What's causing them to come over? And so because that's the first part, right? It's the setting the table, right? It's that presentation. So once that presentation hooks them, now it's up to me to do my job and do my due diligence, right? So it started with reaction. So every time you had an event, you need to analyze, you need to inquire, you need to ask questions, you need to engage to see what it is that's catching their attention, and you have to adjust to it if you want to start making a profit and you want to start converting more customers over time. I mean, I did the Texas Latino Comic Con. It was a 1-day show, and it was amazing. I did more in that 1 day that I did at the Superhero Comic Con all 4 days, right? So and it was, it was because I had my thing, right? And I set up my table to present in a certain way. So every event is a learning experience, and you have to adapt to what the market's telling you, not to what you think it is, but what the market's telling you, what the feedback is coming from the crowd.
Yeah, I mean, I think like, and Lori says hot sauce. Yeah, she does have hot sauce. So yeah, no, we all have our stories. We all have something that's unique to those stories, right? Add that, incorporate that into, and listen, and it doesn't necessarily have to be your story. I was sitting next to these guys, like I was telling you guys, Andrew and Jonathan, they're brothers. Andrew came up with a book called Solarian's Son, and the whole convention, his brother Jonathan holds up a whiteboard, and on the top of the whiteboard it says, Tolkien, like the Lord of the Rings, and the other side says or the Thundercats. And people walk by and they look at the sign and they're like, what? And they're like, vote. Which one do you prefer, Tolkien or Thundercats? And they're like, oh, Thundercats. But what does that have to do with it, right? They're like, glad you asked. What if Tolkien wrote the Thundercats in the Wild Wild West? Now they were hooked. Now they were coming to the table. They wanted to learn more. What? That sounds dope. That was their shtick. That was their thing. And the whole time,
it got me.
And the whole time, the whole time, Jonathan was standing there with the thing, marking it off. And now it's a race to see who wins, right? Now people are invested. They're like, what the hell? And people can't help but vote. They can't help but vote. There are things that people can't help doing. The other thing they can't help doing is spinning wheels. They love spinning wheels. Yeah. I have a spinner on my table. How many people ask me to spin the wheel? Go ahead, spin it. Spin it. See what you win. You know what I mean?
You spin me.
Yeah, it was that people like to get involved. And that's the other way not to lose your shirt is you can't we say this all the time. You cannot sit behind a table at a convention when there are 150 other tables that are taking your lunch money. Yeah. You have to engage. And Casey made a good point. He smiled and he talked about what it was that they were wearing, something to break the ice to entice them to come in. I had one more to say. Yeah, I'm telling you, somebody keep count.
Because of funny.
Lori, and I told him, I told Andrew and I told Jonathan, I'm gonna steal that idea, bro. I'm gonna steal that idea.
That's a great idea, right?
And I'm gonna share it. And I told him I would share that idea because it's a great, and their attitude was share it, dude. We don't care.
I'm glad you said that, right? I was watching this guy. He's an entrepreneur. He's a self-made millionaire, right? And he's 235, right? And he said he is the ultimate thief, right? He says, he goes, I'm working in the sales team. I'm looking at who's the best salesman. I'm listening to their pitch. I'm looking at and then I go, I'm going to use that pitch. Boom. Yeah. Right. I'm looking at this and I'm seeing who's the best at this. I'm like, oh, I'm going to do this. Right. Yeah. He goes, why go and try to prove to yourself that I'm better when there's a proven method right in your face?
It worked.
Just go. If it works, do it. Right. It's like, and I think that's the biggest thing. I think everyone wants to be the smartest person in the room, trying to be the most creative when there's somebody who's paved the way, who has a proven science, right? What did Kobe do? He took Michael Jordan's playbook. Michael Jordan gets up in the morning. He practices 4 times a day. He does this. Kobe says, that's what I'm going to do. Right. And that's what he did. Right.
And Michael looked at Dr. J and said, that's what I'm going to do. And Dr. J, that's what it is. You know what I'm saying? Somebody needs to clip. I'm telling you, who's keeping count? My daughter, the anime fan, did the connecting with people with anime t-shirts that broke the ice. Yes. That's what Jonathan was doing for me. Jonathan was like my wingman. He would set them up and I would knock them down. That's all it is. Must include George's reactions. But it's to Sam's point. You have to use, the beauty of that convention, and I made a post about this because sometimes conventions are tough. And for anybody who's done conventions, they were great. John knows. And sometimes they are tough. People look for those, sunshine and rainbows. Sam isn't singing every single time somebody walks by. There are lulls, just like a Kickstarter campaign or crowdfunding. There are lulls in between that you sit there and you're like, oh my God, what the hell am I going to sell anything today? And when those things happen, it's important to try to stay positive and your neighbors matter, bro. Because we sat next to dudes and they were energy, and then so we brought the energy, and they were like, yo, we're feeding off your energy, and it was a bond, and it was just we were not in the best place. We were not in the best location, but we made the best of it. And we both made money. It's not even like, oh, they made more money than we did because they would. No. We both made money at the convention because it just spread, like wildfire, Lou, like the supercut of Michael Jackson's. Have you guys
ever had any bad issues with a vendor that you were next to? No, but I've seen stories. I've seen 2 vendors have issues where the security and the promoter was called to escort someone. But I've never had any issues.
There was something like that happened this one too.
Yeah, I've never had any issues. In fact, the opposite. Like at this last show that I just did, there was an anime setup. These girls, and really beautiful setup, beautiful booth, beautiful product.
Lori, no comment.
no comment. Right? And they've been full on fights. They've seen that too. I've gotten followers from my fellow artists from comic events because of my booth and my setup and my pitch and the way I engage the customers, and they become followers on my social media because of it.
Lori, do tell.
Or I get asked about my how do I come up with the ideas and the for my booth setup and all this other stuff. So I get a lot of that stuff. There's a reason why Sam knows how I get. Oh, this one, woo! He was like, woo. And that was the good one.
You see what she does to watermelons. That's hilarious.
The melons.
Is it better to be next to another comic table or next to a toy? I prefer another comic table. That's just I think that when people see a bunch of comics in a row, they know what they're getting. They're like, oh, these are comics. Okay, cool.
But I got lucky last year. I was at College Station.
Mm-hmm.
And at College Station, I was working on a con where there was autographs.
Yeah, who was fighting him?
I was at College Station, and they put me in the vendor aisle because there was no more artist alley table. So I paid a little extra for my table, my booth. I had a 10x10 booth. I had an 8-foot table. It was a beautiful spot, but I was surrounded by vendors, toy vendors. But because of that, I was killing it because I was the only one there.
But
and
what did you
had
sell?
Lines.
What did you sell more of?
The books. That was before I had all the stickers. That was last year. And I was killing it. It was amazing. It was just like it was a great event.
Yeah.
But it all depends. I was at Cowtown my first year in Texas, and they put me nothing but by vendors. I wasn't by artist alleys, and I tanked. Right. Yeah. So it all depends. I mean,
but if I had to pick, I would pick comics. If I had to pick, you know what I mean? They're gonna put you where they're gonna put you, and sometimes you can't choose the location. But if I had to pick, I would say put me next to the.
Yeah, I prefer because I think the crowd knows when they walk to a certain section of the event, they know that this section is where the artists are. I can get commissions. I can get original crazy comic books.
Yeah, no, Sam. The worst is when you have a kid's book and they put you next to adult stuff.
Oh, that was Wizard World.
That's the worst.
Yes,
that's the worst. When they put you in a genre that you don't do.
Yes,
that is. No bueno.
No bueno.
But yeah, no, I think the worst thing that probably I've seen happen is people were, you'll sometimes you'll have that neighbor who doesn't know protocol and will start poaching your customers when you're not done with them yet, and they're calling them over to their table to try to sell them on their book.
Yeah.
Wait till they're done. Even if they're not gonna buy, wait till they're done at that table. Once they cross the line to your table, then you can start talking to them about it, but wait till they're done, next year, because that could lead to problems.
Yes.
The Hulk announced the artists in Artist Alley were not very good. Everyone needed to look at his son's art instead. Wow.
Don't mess with Lou Ferrigno, bro.
Yeah, for real.
Lou Ferrigno used to be a staple at Big Apple.
Yeah, he was. Oh yeah, he was there all the time.
And Wizard World.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Wizard World and Big Apple. He was always there.
Hell yeah. So be engaging. Be engaging. Make sure you're talking to them. Have something to give them, right? Bounce back. J.M. DeSantis, I want to give him credit for this one. He mentioned something that actually was kind of interesting. He said, for those people who are kind of come back, right? Give them a coupon. Give them a 10% coupon. Here you go. You're going to come back. Here's a coupon. Come back and redeem that for 10% off any purchase you make when you come back. So that way, that's another way to get them back to this, because you want to get them back to the team.
I like that. I like that very much, man.
I like a little 10% off. 10% coupon. Yes. Here you go. Come back later. We'll give you a 10% coupon of anything you buy. So that's a really good idea. Jane was like, everybody should do it. But these are the things that even when a convention is slow, right? You can always network. You can always talk about things that maybe you should be done or you should do. So, Sam, did you freeze again?
No.
Hold that pose without moving. Oh snap! It was like,
that was a security, bro. We gotta stay still.
Oh snap! Yeah. So what else, Sam? What else? For
all these questions, Sam, what do you miss about New York the most besides pizza? I miss the squad. I really just miss the people.
Yeah.
I miss hanging out. I miss going to Midtown Comics with the boys. That was a great spot. you know, going to Pronto's Pizzeria.
Well, that's the fun part of conventions too, man. Like, and listen, some people are loners and they do their thing. They go in there, handle their business, and they bounce, and that's cool. Hey, do your thing. If you're having a good convention and that's what you want to do it. But I like to hang out after the convention, bro. Like, not all night, but like nice dinner amongst friends.
Yeah, I mean, we used to go to that. Remember that Irish pub that we used to go? It was Brian Kong's favorite spot. It had a pool table.
At the pool, yeah. We should pool. You know what I mean?
You know, we used to. I mean, that's what I miss the most. It's
Lou's crazy.
I mess with him. Yeah, I think nostalgic wise, New York. I miss New York City during Christmas because there's nothing like Rockefeller Center in the Christmas.
Even Bryant Park.
Even Bryant Park ice skating, but not Central Park ice skating. Fifth Avenue, the windows, the Macy's windows. I mean, that kind of stuff.
And you worked right by Rockefeller Center.
Yes. So I missed the nostalgic part, right? The beauty of it during the holiday season, but mostly the people. You know, outside of the people and access, everything was right there.
Right.
Yeah. Look at that to the face. Yeah. But yeah, I think it was, you know, we used to have a lot of meetups. We used to have a lot of hangouts, you know, and there was a great conversation and, you know, great history there. You know, it's
yeah, it was a good time. It was good. That's why, like, even like when we went to San Antonio with the guys, that was fun because it was like bringing New York to Sam that weekend.
Yeah, San Antonio was something. Every night we went out.
Yeah,
every night.
The show sucked, and that's the thing. The show didn't suck, but it's about
the show was at 8 o'clock every night. We were out at 6.
Yo, you know what's crazy about this one too, which I didn't expect? It was till 6 p.m., bro. I had like a 3.5 hour drive back to New York. I was like, and we had to break down. You know what I mean? Like, I was like, yo, I got home. I didn't get to bed till like 1 o'clock on Sunday. Like,
dude, well, you break it down, it takes like 5 minutes. Me break it down takes an hour and a half.
Yeah, now you have a lot.
No, I got two wagons.
Yeah.
I got 2 wagons.
But it's like that, right? So the more conventions you do, the more product you start putting together.
Yeah.
The more you're going to, you know, the more you're gonna your stuff's gonna build, your stuff's gonna grow. You know what? Another thing that I did, and this is something that you know, I didn't mean to do, but it kind of worked out. I'm gonna show you this print. So this print right here, right? Hector Rodriguez did this print. So Heck was at the convention with me. All right, Lori, peace out. But what I did was when they did buy this piece, I would say, hey, go to Hector's table and get it signed. You know what I mean? Thank you, Lori. Get it signed, and people would go to his table from my table to get that piece signed because I told them where they were. So, you know, collaborations like that are helpful sometimes, just to get people to your booth. Speaking of product, how do you plan for how much to bring, especially those starting out?
It depends on how many days of the event and how much I need to recoup, right? So I bring the number that I need to break even plus profit, right? So I say, how many of this do I need to sell? How many of this do I need to sell? How many of this do I need to sell in order to recoup what I've spent? So it all depends. Like I thought Superhero Comic-Con, because it's 4 days, is going to be stellar. It was whack, right? And it was just like I didn't need to have all that inventory because just to get people to the table was a feat in its own.
And not only that, bro, you thought you were getting an 8-foot table, and ended up being 6.
I got a small little spot, and so then I didn't go as heavy to the Texas Latino Comic Con because it was a 1-day show and it was only 6 hours, right? So I didn't go heavy for there. But I had an amazing event, right? And I had enough inventory to support it, which is great. So it all depends on what you need to recoup from the event. That'll determine how much inventory you need to take. And not only that, based on your previous events, what's selling the most, right? Yeah. What's actually converting the most. And so I know exactly which products are converting the most at each event. And I use that as my average and my gauge.
Yeah. You know, and Ed has a great question, but let me answer Hugo's too. When you're starting out, you don't have that point of reference that Sam's talking about. You don't know what you did last time, right?
Right.
I think depending on how much you're pricing your product at. Let's say, for example, you have a $10 book, maybe print out, I don't know, 50 books, you know, $500. If you're starting out, you probably should be doing like $100 tables. Like, don't go out there and book, you know, New York Comic Con for your first thing, you're going to lose your shirt. You are. There's no way you're going to make that much money back at the New York Comic Con, because you don't know how much you got to print. I mean, you know what you got to print. You got to print at least 200 books, something like that. Can you sell 200 books? Maybe. But will you? It's going to be tough. So I would say start slow. Don't go into the big shows right off the bat. That way you get your pitch down, you get your setup ready, and all that other stuff.
Yeah, the last time I sold 100 units was at Puerto Rico Comic Con.
Yeah.
My last question: how close is Duty and Wonder Duck Rush to your vision of them in your head? I'll let you answer first.
Yeah, yours is easy. So for me, it's close, but it's not 100%. Wonder Duck more so than Russ. Russ wasn't exactly what was in my head, but it got there, right? Wonder Duck was pretty much close to what was very close to what was in my head. So yeah, they're about there. And the more, and I feel like the more books I put out, especially Wonder Duck, the closer it'll get to what I was thinking. But when you're working with other people, when you're working with other artists, unless you're freaking, Steven Spielberg or like, you know what I mean? Like there's gonna be a learning curve. But go ahead. Yours is probably easier.
For me, in the comic book is exactly of what I envisioned. What Duty has become because of me doing conventions and having the vlog and the art channel is taking me by surprise. That the most appealing part of Duty to a lot of non-comic book fans, they're more art fans or pop culture fans. They love all of the renditions of Duty of iconic pop culture characters. That surprised me the most. That I didn't anticipate. That just took on a life of its own, and I just built on it, and I just capitalized on the trend because that brought people new eyes to the comic book. So I was like, I'm not going to resist what's happening right here. There's a wave that I didn't expect, and I get requests all the time, every day, right? And so there's a movement happening with. So hopefully it translates where now the book takes off, because this is a character that they find endearing. They love that. They love the look of it in the cosplay, and part of it and the parody. But hopefully it captures them enough to want to pick up the book. Right. So that in itself surprised me the most, where I convert more of the pop culture stuff than I do of the actual book. But in the book, yes, it's exactly what I envisioned for Duty. Everything else is just fun.
Yeah. You know what I found, dude? I was cleaning out my car today, and I had a portfolio, like my work car. I had a portfolio, like a big portfolio in there. Inside, I found the original page of the cover that I did for issue 1, and the original for the cover I did for issue 4 of Duty, of the book. Yeah, the original art. Like I found the 11x17.
Oh, did you?
Art. Yeah. I found those two things. I was like, oh snap, here they are. I think Hugo had asked Lou, did you print what you anticipated?
So what she said originally was, I learned that I didn't print what people wanted. Yes, Lou. So that's exactly correct. So in my arsenal, in my repertoire, in my inventory, I do have a bunch of prints that don't move of Duty that I printed because I was a fan of it, but it wasn't what the audience was asking for. The other stuff that I'm getting requests for move faster at the conventions. And so it was interesting. Like the stuff that I like, nostalgic about and all this other stuff is different. It doesn't move as much. So I have more inventory of those things versus the stuff that I'm getting requests for. So now I'm just reacting to what the audience is telling me.
But the reason why she did it was because somebody told her that she should print that.
Yeah.
And she should have just trusted her gut instead. Sometimes you just got to go with your gut.
Yeah, I mean, like I'm a fan of a lot of stuff that I do. I'm like, I really dig this piece. I think it'll look great as a print, but then it sits there, right? And I'm like, oh shit, maybe.
But see, like you have an advantage, Sam, in that your character and the way you structured your story lends itself to doing prints and doing stickers of characters that people already recognize, right? That is a huge advantage, because people will come, they'll recognize who it is right away. Then they'll get closer and be like, wait, that's not, what is this? And now they have questions. And now you can answer those questions because now, and then you can lead them towards your book. So that in itself.
And you know what? You said something that's very interesting. So what I learned was, The people that are drawn to my booth because they look at the orange banner that says dutiesworld.com, they see the characters that they recognize, right? And they walk over and they see the stickers, whatever. Then they go, I said, yeah, this is the main character for my comic book. You do comic books? That's your comic? Yeah. Oh, right.
Right.
So that it's a surprise, right? So like it
Mhm.
ties it in. So it's a constant learning. I'm constantly learning about about the audience and about the
Yeah.
market and about and then how to strategize when I'm there.
Yeah. And then like obviously, you know, it's all like you said, it's all learning what you're doing. For us who don't, I'm sorry, that's just like, yeah, that's it. What or who was the inspiration? What did he say? Behind little butts. Yo, he brought it back. This is a man who be watching this show, son.
The little butts
Love it.
was
What is the inspiration? Yes.
was me hating on all the rappers that kept talking about the big booty girls. And I was like, yo, what about the cuties with the little butts? Right. So that was me just like, yo, I need to shut that down because there's a lot of cuties over here. That was the whole thing for it. So that was the inspiration behind it. It was me shutting down everybody else and saying, yo, don't forget about this category right here.
Hey, you're the best. You're the best. Oh, I love it.
Putting me on the spot.
Johnny, yeah, we talked all about that no tell, son. Oh, it was terrible.
Yes.
It was terrible. No, but big shout out to John, because John, my buddy John Syfax, he came with me to the convention and we rocked it out, man. We had a good time. It was like we were talking about at the beginning. It wasn't packed. It wasn't mobbed with people. It was bad spot. Yeah. But we made it work. We made it work. And at the end of the day, it's about engaging people. You know what I'm saying? It's about having something that will hook them to come up to your table, because they're not just going to come up on their own. Sometimes you got to call them over. And I'm not talking about be a carnival barker. You don't necessarily have to be like, hey, come on, check out what I have in my booth and annoy everybody around you. But it's simple, like Jonathan was like, welcome to our world of ducks. And people were like, what? And they were like, oh, shoot, what is that? Oh, look, it's a duck. I met a girl. Her name was Daphne.
Speaking of ducks.
This is why. Her name is Daphne. People called her Ducky. Why do they call her Ducky? Because her friends would be like, Daffy Duck, Daphne Duck. And she was like, she took on the moniker of Ducky. So she loved ducks. Her office was filled with ducks. Her house filled with ducks. So they called her Ducky. So she bought a bunch of ducks. I happen to have duck stuff. So she bought Wonder Duck. But I wouldn't have known that if we didn't say, hey, welcome to the world of ducks, because she came over simply because she heard ducks. You know what I mean? Because you get lost in a sea of people. And when she heard that, she was like, oh, snap, I like ducks. And now now it's about closing it, right? Now it's about closing the deal. So since you've both got experience with cons, and Sam, you mentioned that you've done previous years, do you take notes or something about each con for the next year?
Yeah. I have
like literally take notes, Hugo? Like literally like write down a piece of paper, like notes or mental notes. But go ahead, Sam. Answer.
No, so I have an inventory of what I sell. I track what I sell.
Right.
And so for me, that's basically anything that sticks out that's major.
okay.
Did I make a connection with a vendor? I'll take a note of that. Is there inquiries, that maybe from a school or whatever, those kind of things. But usually my inventory is like what worked last year, what did I sell the most of last year? So that when I go back the following year, I want to make sure that I make that a focus, right? And to keep that trend going. But again, things change year over year. But I'll say, like for instance, College Station. I don't know if it was because I was by a toy vendor in the vendors aisles that I was so successful because I did really well, and some other people in Artist Alley didn't do as well as I did. But I did really well. So this year I'm going to be in Artist Alley. So I have to be mindful that it's a different location this year. So I can't expect the same return, right? So I have to make sure. But this year that I'm going to be there, I have a 60% increase in property that I did last year. I have an inventory pool that I didn't have last year. I have an assortment of stickers and prints that I didn't have last year. So, and then I have a booth set up that I didn't have last year. So there's some things to my advantage. So those are the things I take into consideration.
Pull up Sam Vlogs, okay. Look at what does George do?
Just photographs, dodgy motels.
Wow. Those aren't just photographs, okay? That's art. You see the colors in that photo? It says you'd watch his vids thinking, damn, that's a handsome guy. Oh shit. Only curtains. Oh, snap.
George is the top
But
guy.
no, but hey, it's better than being the bottom. But yo, the what you call it? I think part of like Hugo's talking about taking notes. I think now I feel like conventions change venues a lot. Back in the day when we were doing conventions, like the Apple, right? The Apple Big
They
Apple.
were
Con.
always in a different location.
No, but Big Apple. No, what I'm saying is no. What I'm saying is it was always at the Penn Plaza Hotel for years. For years. You know what I mean? For years. It would catch the craze after dark and at word. It's after 9 o'clock. It's over. Yeah, after that 1 hour mark, anything goes. No, but what I'm saying is the Big Apple Con was at the Penn Plaza Hotel, so we knew the layout. Regardless of where we were going to sit, we knew the layout of the convention. It didn't change much, right? So people, and for the most part, we were like in the same location for the most part. We didn't really change. Now conventions change venues, conventions, you know what I mean? So it's hard to gauge a good spot. But one of the notes that I do take sometimes is walk around the hall and see where the traffic is coming from in case they do go back to that convention center or that same location. And you kind of know how the flow of the show is. Things change though. Things always change. Judge was so ready to check. Yo, bro, it was bad, dude. It was bad. It was one of the worst. You know how we had that hotel where we had the smoking and it was worse than that.
Yeah,
It was worse than
it
that.
looks special.
It was worse than that, dude. It was bad.
Special.
It was bad. John was like, "Oh yeah, this would be. I come here by myself." I'm like, "Yeah, I mean, yeah, but I guess by yourself would be cool." But
By
like,
myself.
but
He's
like-
and some lotion.
but, whoa! I didn't say all that. Damn, John.
Like,
I'm
love
telling
is
you,
in
I'm
the
telling you,
air.
906.
Every time I turn around.
Oh boy.
How romantical. Yeah. No. I think it's important to understand. Like, for instance, Cowtown. I haven't done Cowtown.
Yeah, I just reread Hugo's message.
What?
No, you said that you'd watch your videos thinking about, damn, that's a handsome guy. Right there.
Yo,
Oh, that's hilarious.
you're me at 3 o'clock. So like, for instance, Cowtown Comic Con, I did it 3 years ago when I first came to Texas. And I didn't have a good event. They had me in a pit with a bunch of vendors, right? And I was nowhere near Artist Alley. This year, I'll be doing Countdown there at a different venue. And I did request to be in Artist Alley. And I also did request to be next to William Russell, right? You know, and because William's a great salesman, right? He's out there, he's doing his pitch, he's doing his thing, and we have good camaraderie. So I was like, you know, I want to be next to somebody because I know he's going to have his fan base. I'm going to be in where I need to be in Artist Alley. So this is going to be, for me, I take it as a first experience, right? Because it's a different location, venue, and I'll be in Artist Alley. So I'm going to take it as a first come first, and I'll make my opinion based on that. I can't judge it on 3 years ago.
But see, like you talk about William, and he was your neighbor at Texoma, right? One more song at Texoma, and that's what I'm talking about. Like when you have the right like neighbor, it motivates you, and the selling just ends up because you guys, that energy, you know, it's something that you just vibe off of. So that's why that's kind of like important. What I did was, and I usually don't do this, but when I was because it was in a corner for this Wicked Comic Con, I was like, let me see who my mate is, who my neighbor is, right? So I went on the website. I checked out the website. I followed him on Instagram, and he followed me back. So we knew who was going to be next to each other. Yeah, no, and it was a way to break the ice. So when we got there, we're like, oh, what's up? It's almost like we knew each other already. Now, that's not going to work with everybody because everybody's got different personalities. Their personalities were just that. They were just cool. They were, you know, like I said, they had that little, you know, whiteboard, and they were just really cool. But I think that now you can look everybody up, bro. Like now when you look at those maps, you know, especially since they put everybody's website, most people have websites, so you can see who you're sitting next to and what they're selling. And so you have an idea, you can gauge, okay, how is this gonna go? Possibly. At least you're not going in there blindly. You know what's next. Now, I don't know if you go that deep into it, but I like to kind of do my research.
I don't look at stalkers. I'm not a stalker. But you're not a stalker, right? Yeah, I don't rent these sexy motel rooms. But no, but I do look to see. I look to see if I recognize anybody that's going to be next to me. But I don't like. I've
Oh,
never.
you don't stalk. Okay, I get
No,
what
because
you
I get the map, and so it's like, oh, I don't know.
Yeah,
I never heard
exactly.
of this person, but I don't look them up on social media.
Why not?
Huh?
I want to know what they're selling. I want to know if it's similar to what I'm selling, because if they're selling adult material, it's not going to be a good con, bro. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I've never got that far, but I just look at, most of the time I want to see if I know that I know people that are going to be at the show. I
yeah,
want to see
I
how
hear.
far are they from me? Like where are they on the floor?
Mhm.
So when I get there, I can go and find them easily. So I look for their booth number or whatever it is. Usually just to get them on the vlog and say hello or whatever it is. But no. I mean, look, I think every convention, no matter what, unless you have built a foundation where you have a demand, treat it as the first come, first serve, right? Treat it as your first event. Because you could be doing the same convention every year, like San Diego Comic Con. You got to treat it as a new show, a new event, because tastes change, consumers change, behaviors change. And if you're not, mass distributed and you're not, a notable brand,
Yeah.
it's going to be a first for a lot of people. So you got to treat it as your first.
Oh yeah.
Right?
Oh yeah. Yeah. That's why you gotta have your number ones always, because these people may not know who you are. Yeah, my last con had a wrestling event, and several of those came just for this. For that stop by the table. Yeah. No, it's true, man.
Yeah.
It's true.
So I'm looking forward to College Station because I had a great event last year there. Hope the special.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there was a lady we met. Her name was Hope.
Yeah, and I always do well at Denton. Denton, my table's only $50. I pay $55 for a table. It's free to the public, and I always do extremely well there. It's a one-day show.
$50, that's great.
Yeah, and it's a one-day show. It's always profitable. I always do extremely well, and so and then Cowtown. So we'll see what that looks like. But they're doing a good job promoting. The guys at Cowtown did a fantastic job promoting Texoma. They're doing a good job of promoting. It's in Fort Worth, Texas. It's a long drive. And the area is by like horse and cattle state, whatever it is. And but it's they're doing a good job promoting it. And so I'm gonna go out there this year and see what it's like. So again, your job when you're at the events is learn from the consumer, learn from the behaviors, see what's drawing them to your table, work on your pitch. It's school. When you're there, classes and sessions, you're there to learn, right? You're there to test and try. Test what works, right? Keep testing, throw shit on the wall, see what sticks on the wall, connect with the customer, and then take that information, go back to your think tank, refine.
Yeah, and you know what though, like, and I know you don't walk around the con. You're the kind of guy that sits behind there. For me, I like to take my breaks and walk around a little bit, come back to the table, and that's why having John, and obviously you can't do it because you're by yourself. I get it, but having somebody go with you helps, because that way that person can man the table while you're walking around, whether you're just going to clear your mind because you're having not such a good show and you need to get away or something like that. That always helps. So do it. Don't think that you have to be that person that stays, unless you're by yourself. And obviously, what else are you?
Yeah, I can't go.
But yeah, no, that's a preference.
Yeah, I always walk the halls in the morning before it opens, and in the evening when they kick everybody out. Whenever I close up my booth, then I'll walk the halls and I'll get the camera out.
Yeah, no, I like to do it in between, just to go check out some stuff, just to walk around.
Yeah, I was hoping. I'm gonna try to see if it's another big venue, if I can get a drone and just.
With that said, so this weekend I'm gonna be at Terrificon. Just walking the floor though. I'll just be hanging out, meet up with some guys that are going to be there. Philip Russell's going to be there. You're going to have Hector Rodriguez is going to be there. San Martino, who was on, I don't know if he's still there. He will be there. Wayward Raven is going to be there. There's going to be tons of guys that are going to be there, people that we know. So it's going to be a good time. Johnny and I are going to head out there. We're going to do our thing, hang out. It's not going to be a yotel, so don't worry about that.
A yotel.
But College Station. Oh, look at Jay. What's up, Jay? If you're going to College Station, people are way into Texas A&M, so maybe having a duty sketch with A&M colors or football uniform.
Oh, look at that. Look at that.
Yeah, man, Texas is big on their sports, dude.
Oh, thanks for that, Jay.
Yeah, good heads up. And then I'm gonna be at Baltimore Comic Con in September. So
Baltimore.
I'm looking forward to that. And then New York Comic Con in October. I'm also gonna do a local show October 5th at the Yonkers Library.
Junkers.
So, yeah, so that's gonna be fun. But yeah, Sammy, so you got those coming up?
Yeah.
And what do we got next week, dude? What's going on next week?
What do we got next week? What do we got? Let's see. The Hummer. What is it? Calendly. Let's see. We got next week, which is the 20th. We got Ruben Escobedo.
Okay.
Ruben Escobedo. You know Ruben?
No.
He goes, he met me at Superhero Comic Con.
There you go.
Look at that.
Oh, I know. Yeah, he had the TikTok channel. He came by. With
Yes,
right.
That's right. Yes,
there
he has that TikTok channel. He's a funny guy. He's gonna be on the show. That's gonna be dope. Look at that. Let me see what we're dude. We're booked to the end of October, bro.
Jeez.
Yo,
wow.
This is a packed calendar.
Yikes.
Yo, they're just coming.
The Slash Storyteller coming up at the end of the month.
The who?
KC.
Yeah, KC's coming in 27th. Yes, KC will be here. We got Dis Casillas.
This is where Sam sings "Last Dance" by Donna Summers.
Another comedian. We got Dis Casillas is an international touring Latino comedian.
Nice. What? Listen, before we got a request. What up, Will? We got a request from End of Zed. Ed's requesting.
This is where Sam sings last. Oh wow, you crazy!
Oh yeah, no, you won't sing that.
My last chance for romance tonight. Oh, I need you by me, beside me, to guide me. Come on, George, to hold me, to scold me. 'Cause when I'm bad, I'm so bad.
You just slap yourself? Oh my God. That's it. It's over. It is over. Good night, everybody.
You didn't think I knew that song?
I didn't think you were going to slap yourself. Oh my God.
Oh,
He said, pass me the whiskey. Sam is singing again. Holy cow. All right, well, with that said.
Oh man, that was awesome. But what a great show today.
Oh, it's too good. Too much
It was
fun.
too good. With that said, we appreciate everybody out there. Thank you for supporting Catch the Craze podcast. We do this show. We are the OGs. We created the show in 2005, the first independent comic book created podcast out there in the market. We do it because we want to give a voice to the unsung heroes, right? And so when we grow, the independent community grows. So subscribe, like, share it with a friend. Let everybody know where you found us. We appreciate every single one of you. I think I'm bad for asking questions now. Absolutely. So with that said, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. And I am Seb, the crazy man, Vera.
George, the Dreamer Medina.
And we are out.
It's not crazy.
No, I was talking about my friend Acquise. I met him. Say my name, right?
This is what you were thinking? Oh my.
He described me. He said, I'm the
What? Catch the Craze. You're listening to Catch the Craze. You're listening to Catch the Craze. To Catch the Craze. You are listening to Catch the Craze. This is Craze. You're listening to Catch the Craze.
girl.